Well, I'm sad to have to admit it, but I wasn't a very good reader when I was young. I liked being read to by my mother. My mother used to sit in the bed and read to me. And I loved that. I loved hearing the sounds of the words and the music in the words, and I loved to have her there doing it, I suppose. And the stories that she read me and the poems that she read me, I've loved all my life as a consequence. But reading for myself, I wasn't very good at it. I think it was because when I went to school, people seemed to make reading a matter of tests. It was all about spelling and punctuation. I found that quite difficult. And I wasn't that interested really in reading for myself. I loved looking at comics. I loved pictures, and I liked comics because the stories moved very, very fast. And I loved stories that moved fast. And then, a little bit later on, I came across Enid Blyton. And I liked Enid Blyton for the same reason actually as I liked comics, because the stories moved fast. Every page you turned, there was something exciting happening. And excitement was what I lived for, you know. But it wasn't until I was about maybe 9 or 10, I came across the first what I call good book. And that was Treasure Island by Robert Louis Stevenson. He's still, for me, probably the greatest writer that there is. And what I mean by a good book is a book you could lose yourself in completely. It was still exciting, but you were so wrapped up in the characters in it. You know, whether it was the mutineer Long John Silver, and he was terrifying. He wasn't just a little bit frightening, he was terrifying. You know, he cut your throat. And then I would be Jim Hawkins, who was this 10-year-old kid on this ship, the Hispaniola, and I would become that person. And I only discovered later that was because it was so well written. So he was my first favorite author. And I had many authors after that I've loved. But in my heart, I still think Robert Louis Stevenson, he's the writer I most want to be, but I can't be. Sadly, he wrote Treasure Island first. Otherwise, I would have written it, and then it wouldn't have been nearly as good.